here we are today. Today we are going to learn the Redux, right?
Okay.
Okay. So before the Redux, we were worked with the context API, right? Use context. I
Correct.
I have covered that, or it is missed.
Last time we just used uh, what to say uh, uh, Redux pre version. That's mm, yeah. We had
Reducer,
fetch
reducer.
also. We had fetch also. Yes, we learned fetch also. Yes.
Yes. So have we covered the context API, the use context React hook?
I'm not sure.
I think we have covered. I think we have covered. Let's see the API call. It is a key. There is a pass value. Yeah, this one. Yeah, we have covered.
Okay.
We have covered. This is the create context. This is one. This is a create context. If you are not remember, I can repeat that.
Okay. You can repeat.
Okay. So actually, the what is the context API? Context API is to pass the value from one component to the another component. Okay, so we can do with that the props also, like with that previously we have seen. But the problem is that whenever you are the your child is the very deep in your code, so it's the child of child of child. Then you need to pass the props to the child, and then child to the subchild, the subchild to the subchild.
Okay.
So you
Sure.
need to pass the props drilling for that. Okay.
Okay.
So to avoid that, then we have the context API. So if you want to pass the value from one child to the third child,
Okay.
then you can directly pass the value by using the context API. Then
Okay.
how you can do that? First, you need to create the context object by using the create context React hook. Okay. So once you have created that, then we have the state. Suppose we have a state is a hello, and this is the my context is the context, and
Okay.
this is a provider.
Okay.
So we are going to like that. So I'm writing this again. So return if you want to return the first, and then this is the my context. My context is the nothing. This is a context object.
Okay.
Then the provider is the what you are going to provide inside of this context. So that is the value. The value is again like a property
Correct. Okay.
for this provider, and here I am passing the value for that. Means the value means uh, uh, the variable. What
Okay.
this is a variable name basically, and what you are passing inside, that is the any of the value of that. You can pass the king here directly, or
Hmm.
you can pass the any object here like a state object.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so if you want to pass the value only, then you can pass them. If you want to multiple passing of the value, then you can pass them by using the comma, and again you can set another property for that. Okay, suppose you want to once this one, and you are going to close them. Then here I'm going to commenting that.
Oh, I
Now
remember. If you want this child to have further further HTML syntax, you can actually declare it inside the this provider,
Yes,
correct?
yes. You can
Yeah,
we cannot use the
uh,
we cannot use the syntaxes for this one.
uh,
Okay,
now
so we
you'd have
will use
additional HTML set of lines for this child component. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So okay, so here we have a provider. Okay, and we are passing the value inside of it,
Mm,
and here you need to call that child where you want to pass the value.
mm.
So I have a child component,
Yeah, correct.
this okay, and this child component have again another child component that is a again child.
Okay.
Now here I am going to pass the I'm using to call the child component.
Mm.
Okay, so now this property is also available in this child
And the
as
child
well
also.
as in the
Correct.
child of the child.
Correct.
Okay, so if you want to get the property of this provider, then you can access inside of the child component as
Mm.
well as inside of the again the child of the child component, that is
Okay.
again.
Okay.
So now I don't want to access from here, but I want to access here. So how we have done this? So we are just use context is the React hook.
Mm.
Here we are using the create context because we are going to create the context. Here we are going to use the context, that is the use context
Okay.
React hook we are
Okay.
using, and we are going to pass the context name
Mm.
whatever we have created here.
On the parent component. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, uh, and these are the properties.
Mm.
What properties we are going to pass from there? That is the my data.
Mm.
Right now, please don't uh, focus on this. I will explain this one also. Okay,
Mm.
so this data which I am getting from here, this property. Okay, and here if you are seeing in the console.log, then you can get the value from here,
Correct. Okay.
and you can use that value directly here to display or
Yeah.
use in your
Okay.
HTML. It can be an object or anything.
Correct. Okay.
No, you need to pass the some. Suppose there is a button and want to pass the value
Mm.
from child component to parent component.
Mm.
Parent to child is easy,
Correct.
but child to parent is it is a tricky.
Okay.
So so parent from parent we are going to pass this state get day. This
Mm.
is a function.
Mm.
This function contains a variable.
Mm.
That variable that this is a parameter and this parameter contains the some value.
Okay.
Okay. So I am going to pass this function like here. This is a comma
Mm.
and that is a get day. This is my variable
Mm.
in which variable I am going to pass the get day, that is a function, this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So nothing else. This is very simple. I am
Mm.
going to pass this instead of the object or the value. I am passing the function,
Okay.
and here I am getting the function also here.
Okay.
This is a variable. What variable we are passing from the parent component, and
Mm.
this is a variable contains the function.
Mm.
And now this variable like a function. So
Mm.
I am using here a function and pass my data as a Sunday, and I am going to pass inside of it.
Okay.
When my button is going to click, then Sunday will pass from this
So child
component
to third child to first parent. Okay.
parent.
Okay.
Okay, because my function is available here, and the Sunday is getting here, and
And then it
then
sets it to the
you can
object.
use
Now it gets shown on the next child.
the state. In the state variable, we are going to store that.
Okay.
So
Can you
these are the
run and
things.
show this? Can you run and show this?
Yeah, sure. Uh, this one. Yeah, last time we have done this one. Okay, so this. So here you can see that there is a hello.
Hello. Okay.
This this is you can see the first from where it is coming. If you can see, uh, in a again child and the child component. Okay,
Okay.
so this in the child component, this is a king
Okay.
which is showing. Like 1 second, which is showing here. This is
Okay.
a king. Okay,
And the button is
in
on
the
the against.
again this is providing the prop dot children.
Mm.
Okay, and this is again child and my date.
Okay.
So again child my date. What about this props dot children? Prop dot children is containing the children property from here,
Okay.
because this h1 is inside of the again
Again child. Okay.
child.
Correct.
Okay, and now come to the hello. So you can see that the hello is coming from
Initial state. Yeah. Initial state.
initial state.
Correct. Now, if you
Okay,
click on it, it
so
should be changed
because
to
we are going to pass the value
yeah.
here. Okay, so now if I'm going to click on the send back data, so this hello will convert to the Sunday.
Correct. So click on it.
You
Sunday.
can
Okay.
see the
Correct. Correct.
Sunday. I am putting here, and now this is a changed as a Sunday, and this is also changed as a Sunday,
Correct. Okay.
because both are the interrelated.
Correct.
Fine.
Correct. Okay. Understood.
Okay, good. Now we are going to start the Redux.
Okay.
So I'm collapsing that.
So, what is the main advantage of having your use context and create context instead of props, just to avoid that props
Prop
nesting?
dealing.
Correct.
Prop
Yeah.
dealing is the main concept,
Okay.
because whenever you are if you are working with a very small project where only 2 or 3 or 4 components are available
Okay.
here, then you can
Correct.
use the props.
Okay.
But if you have a large components and you need to pass the value from very deep in the inside of the any component, then you need to use the context.
Okay. But
Okay,
Redux also does the same things. No, you have stored
exactly.
still stored with
Actually,
global store and yeah.
there was the thing is that uh, context was not in the starting of the React. Okay,
Okay.
so there was only the props.
Okay.
After this problem solving, they are providing the context.
Okay.
Okay, and by this context, we are using a prop dealing solution. Okay, the Redux is the third party tool.
Okay.
First one, you can use the Redux inside your React, inside
Mm.
your Angular, any of your, because
Mm.
that is the third party tool, that is not the part of the React.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing. Second thing, both functionality are the same. The Redux is also introduced to avoid the prop dealing issues.
Okay.
Okay, and the context API is also doing that.
Okay.
This is up to you what you wants to use. You
Sure.
want to use the React component or you want to use a third party component.
Okay.
Second thing, the Redux is containing the store. Okay, in this store they are preserving all of the data of the states,
Mm.
and that is a central place.
Mm.
In this central place you can distribute your data inside anywhere in it.
In the components, yes.
Okay, any components you can access there. But in React there is a no any state of the store. You are going to pass data where whenever you want, and what component you want to pass that data, this is a you can decide that. But in the Redux you don't need to decide that. You can access from any component to it, right?
No, I don't understand this part.
So this is the part is that in the React, the if you are using the context API,
Mm.
then you can decide that for which component you need to pass the data.
Correct. From either some certain child to parent, or from parent to all the child, or intermediate child. Correct. Okay.
Right, right. And but in Redux there is a open data. Any component can access that data.
Okay.
Here you can decide the data for which what component the data
Mm.
need to send, but that is the open data inside
Okay.
your application. So any component can access the data from the Redux.
Okay.
This is a major difference from there.
Sure.
Okay, so before starting, it goes to some. I have sent the some assignment to you, right?
Yeah. Yesterday you sent, yes. I'm yet to start working on it. I'll do it today.
Okay, okay. Actually, a lot of the busy schedules. That's why I'm not able to concentrate. Okay, so why Redux? So we have listen about that. The data is in React always flows from parent to child component, which makes it indirectional. Means you can pass the data from parent to child always. Okay, and by props drilling will use to pass the data from parent component to child component in React. In React hooks, the use context is the part to make a solution for that. But Redux is using for the state management at the one place. So here one place you are going to store your states values. Okay, so like that Suppose there is a app.js file and the Redux store. From this Redux store, you can use any component. These are the components, and components can use any of the data from this Redux store. That suppose this component wants to use the data, then they can use, while this is a child component. If this component want to use, then this can be used. This is not cannot you want to use, this cannot want to use, they cannot use the Redux. So means this is a centralized place. Whenever any components want to use the data, then they can connect with the Redux directly. Now, why is Redux? So the things is that the Redux is a pattern and library of the managing and updating the application state using event calls actions. Okay, so basically Redux have the three parts. The first is the store, where the data is going to store inside of the single place. Second thing, they have the reducer. Third, they have the actions. So a reducer contains the two things that where we have already look on the reducer hooks inside of that the React. The same thing, the same concept is here. They contains the two things. The first is uh, the state value, and the another is the action. Action is decide that what action, which type of the request is coming to perform the particular action or perform the particular operation inside your Redux. Okay, so action is deciding that what to do. Reducer, how to do. Store, object which holds the state of the application, and the function associated with stores. So basically there are some functions which are associated with the stores, that is the create store, dispatch, and get state. As the name of the create store, it is showing that we are going to create the store for that. And the dispatch action, to pass the action type. So without dispatch, you cannot pass the action type to the reducer. And the get state is to use to get the value of the states. Now, how the Redux functionality work? So the action is the pure object. Means what is the pure object? Pure object is it will not execute, or it will provide the same result if the value is not going to change. In any state, the value is not going to change, then it will return the same value. So that is called the pure object. So action are plain JavaScript object that have a type field. That is, that type field contains the actions. So which type of actions you are going to perform? Actions only tell what to do, but they do not tell how to do. Okay, so action is providing to a function that what to do, but how it can be do, it will be depends only and only upon your types, and it is depends on the reducer. So reducers are the function that takes the current state and an action as argument. So I have said that reducer contains the two arguments. The first is the current state or the state value. The second thing, the action. Both are the arguments, and return a state result. And after that, it will return the state result, and that state result will store in the store of the Redux. So the third thing is a store. The Redux store brings together the state, action, and reducers that make up your application. It's important to note that you will only have a single store in a Redux application. You cannot create the multiple stores. Every Redux store has a single root reducer function. So we have a root reducer function that is only a single one. Okay. So to create the store, we need to first install the Redux in our application, and you need to use the create store uh, component from the Redux. And this is the command to create the store. That is a const store is equals to create store root reducer. This is a root reducer, which is the single reducer, which will be the root one. Now, how we can install the Redux? To first create an application of the your Redux application by command the npx create uh, React app and your app name. After that, install the Redux in your application. That command is the npm I redux redux dash or react dash redux. So both libraries are going to store in your application. One is the Redux, another is the React dash Redux. So from where we can install the Redux and the Redux tools? There is a install add extension. The name is a Redux tools. Where we are going to in your browser, you need to add the Redux tool. If you want, this is a optional. You can add the Redux tools, dev tools or not. So if you are looking about your states, what the state values and how they're going to store, then you can use the Redux tools for that. And you this is the link, the very simple link. If you are going to Google that Redux toolkit, add Redux toolkit in your browser, then you can get this Redux tools uh, on your Google Chrome. To add your application Redux in that Redux to, so once you have installed, then you need to add your application to perform the activity inside your Redux tools. So this is the below the command. So this command is also available in the Git library. That is again you are again to search that command, about that command in your Google, then you can get this one in the first level, first search. So this is the command. So it is a standard command. Don't need to do any changes on it. This is a window.redux root dev tools extension and present windows.redux dev tool extension. So this is a function. So we need to add this command inside our store whenever we are going to create them. Okay, so these are the things for that. Now we are going to start. So I have already installed uh, the Redux. So now we are going to create things. The first, I'm going to create a folder that is React Redux. Okay. So in this React Redux, I'm going to create some folders for which we need to work on it. That is first is the action, and another is reducers. Okay. So I have created a two methods here. Now I am going to create a store. One second. I'm going to create a store. So here I'm going to create a store outside of this all of the things on the here top, because store is containing that data. So that is I'm going to store.js. This is my store file. In this store file, I'm going to just create a store. So I'm going to import create store from Redux. Store new one. I need to store first.
npm I Redux React
Yes,
Redux.
yes, I need to store first. I'm going to stop that. And npm I and Redux and React dash Redux. So it is stored. Now we are going to our application. So, so why it is going to cross? So this is because now um, the latest version of the Redux is not using the create store. But if you want to use the forcefully that, then you can use that. There is no issue with that. But instead of that, they are coming with a new thing. That is uh, a configuration. So after that, first we learn about this one, and after that we'll go to the configuration also.
Okay.
Now we need to use the reducer. Okay, so here suppose I'm going to const. I have a const that is the store is my variable of that, and use the create store, that is create store, and using the first parameter of my store is a reducer. That would be the root reducer. That is a mandatory for that. So now how you can get the root reducer for that? So React have no any reducer for that directly. So we need to prepare our side of the root reducer. So here we need to create a one reducer inside of our reducer. So go to the reducer folder, create a file. I'm saying the name of that is a main reducer. This is a file by which we are going to create our root reducer. So what I'm going to do, the first thing, I'm going to create a simple application about this reducer, that I have a two buttons, one button to increase the counter and one button to decrease the counter. Okay, and there would be a text box or the label which will show the value of that. So once I'm going to click on the left button or the one button to decrease that, the number will decrease and show on the form. I'm going to click on the other button, the number will increase. So this type of functionality of my application, I'm going to implement that. So here, for that, I need to create a root reducer first. So I have a import that is a combined reducer. So what is a combined reducer? Combined reducer is a reducer by which you can combine multiple of the reducer inside of a single one, because this is your the main reducer. Any reducer, you can create the multiple reducers, okay, but you need to combine them at a one place. So that is the one place. This is a main reducer, which is a root reducer. Okay. Now you need to const, and root reducer is my variable, and here that is a combine reducer. That is a function which contains the list of reducers. And now, one second. And now we need to export this reducer, default, and root reducer. Now our root reducer component is ready, and we are going to again the store, and in store we are going to import that root reducer here. Import, sorry, root reducer, that is the root reducer which are created. Now I need to pass that root reducer inside of this function. My store is ready right now. We don't need to do any changes over the store. My store contains everything inside of it. Now I need to use the main reducer only when we need to implement, we are implemented any other reducer and want to add them. Then we need to go inside of the main reducer. Okay. Now coming to the another function. So I have two things, that is a action. So in this action, we need to add our actions. Okay. But before that, I need to develop a main page for that. One second. So inside of your action, what you need to do? You need to create a action. So here I'm going to create a file. Suppose that name is index.js. And now I need to create an action. What action I need to perform? Okay. So here I'm going to export const. So here INC, I'm going to provide a name to increment the number. This action I'm going to create to increment the number. So this one is a function. This is nothing. This is a simple function which will return something to you. That is a type basically, and that is a INCREME increment. Export. I'm going to create another one, that is a decrement number, and this is a return the type is equals to decrement. So I have created the actions for that. Going to save this one. Now I have some increment and decrement also. I need to perform a action with a data. So before that, I need to create our the HTML part also. So how we can create that? Then let's see. I am going to create a file for which we are using to show the my JSX file. So I'm going to create a file here. That is a my redux.js. This is my file. Now I'm going to create a import. Sorry, I don't not import right now. I'm going to just create a post my redux. This is a simple component, and there would be a return the div hello redux and export default my redux. Now I need to use that redux inside my this one. So I'm removing this one and adding my redux. My redux. So it is added here. Now component should display on the browser. Oh, I need to execute them first. Start. Executing. Yes. Need to export. But I have exported that. Export to form. Why it is showing this? I just created a simple component. Okay. That is a cost. Okay, fine. There is no issue. What I did in it? Export I have created. Export them and import that and show them inside of it. Expected the string. What is the bit on the component? String step of string once. My Redux. Save me what are. It was not saved basically. So now my component is showing here hello Redux. Now I'm going to implement our functionality, the JS functionality inside of this function, this component. Okay. So what is that? I want to suppose I am going to create a first one, the H1, this increment slash decrement counter. Okay. So now the H2, H4, so I'm going to implement that using React and Redux. Here I have a div. In this div, I'm going to create a simple anchor, and this anchor I'm going to use a span that is for minus, and I'm using the input type equals to text. It's up to you what you want to do here. You want to use the label or the input, and here we have a value. I'm passing the values of 1 right now, and using the a again span, and in this span I'm going to plus. So this is my simple thing of application. So I want to, whenever I am going to click on the minus button, it should be a decrease, and whenever I'm going to click on the plus button, it should be increase. Or I can take a button instead of that. Button. This and this. Okay. So the main part is I need to, whenever I'm click on the this button, then this value should be decreased, and whenever I'm going to click on this button, this value should be increased. First of all, I need to create a state where the value going to preserve. Okay, so I'm going to create a um, state. Okay, so there is a thing, whenever you are going to use the state, but in the React JS, whenever you are going to use the Redux, basically, you cannot use the state directly. Okay, so for that you need to use the some another steps to create them. So what are those? You need to first import the things. The import, that is the use selector. Use selector is the part of your state. What what state you are going to preserve. Okay, now how we can use that? You are using like this, the const my state equals to, remember, we are using our state. What we are doing in our state, that is a const, that is the my state, and set my state, and you need to provide the use state hook, and here you need to pass some value on it, suppose 0. So how we can do that with this state? Then it is very simple. We are going to make a function for increment and decrement for that. Suppose is a for that is a const inc function. Suppose I'm going to make name of that, and here I'm going to this, and here I'm going to set my state, that is state pre-state plus 1, and this one. So this is the increase function, and like that the decrease function is here. Decrease function is here, and with this time I'm going to make a minus. So now on the decrease, on click, I am calling that function, sorry, decrease function, and on click of increase, I am calling the increase function, like that, and the value here I need to show the my state. Going to save that. State of sour expression, what is it? Okay, I'm going to increase that, that will be increased, and if I'm going to decrease that, it is going to decrease. It's a very simple thing, whatever we are using in our simple uh, React application. But how we can implement in the Redux? Then for that we need to create a state not like that, but we need to create the state like that. My state equals to use selector, and here you need to pass that state, that is state, and that is a, suppose it is a change number, change number. Now this is a way. Now I'm going to one by one going to commenting that, so that you can easily compare these things with the Redux. Okay. Now I need to use this state variable with the dispatch. Means my the thing is that the reducer, whatever we have created, the reducer will work as per our action. The action what we have written here, these action will work only and only with the dispatch method. The first thing. Second thing, what I need to implement on this action, how we can implement that. So for that, first we need to create our own reducer to perform this action. So we are going to create a reducer. Before that, we have created our root reducer, but now we need to create our another reducer which is based on the component. So now I'm going to use that, the name is a uptown, that is the JS, and now here is the const. So before that, I'm just writing the const, and this is my reducer name, change number. Okay. And here I need to pass the two parameters because the reducer wants the two parameters. Spelling mistake is here. Const. Okay. We need to pass the two parameters. The first is the state, and second is a action. Okay, but for this we need to pass the initial state value. Okay, so how we can pass that? Before that, I'm going to export default and change number. So how we can pass that initial value? Then we need to create a const initial state. So this is a initial state value I need to pass inside of it. So how we can pass? We can pass that the initial state. So initial state value by default it is a 0. Now inside of the action, we need to perform the action about the switch. You is up to you. You want to use the switch or you want to use the if condition. So every action have a type, that is a action dot type. This type is defined that which type of action is performing with your component or the state. So I'm using the case that is increment, and here return state plus 1. Whenever going to increment, the 1 will be added in the state. Whatever the state value is before that, in that one is added and it will be returned by this function to the reducer, and reducer will save the updated value state value inside of the state variable. Like that, we need to create a case increment return state minus 1. By default, we need to pass the default value for this. So default, it is return as it is the state back to the function. So now this reducer is ready for us. The reducer name is the change number. But remember, we have created a min reducer. That is the hub which contains all of the reducer informations. So we need to add our reducer inside of it. So here in this list, we need to provide our reducer name. But only the name is providing not sufficient. We need to import them also. So here import this from this file. So we are imported that. We have added them in the root reducer. Root reducer is added inside of our store. You can see the root reducer is already added in it. Now our up down functionality is ready. Our reducer is ready. Our action is ready. Now I'm going to save this one. Now I need to go in the my Redux. This is the main method where my JSX file is available and I need to call them all of them. So here uh, right now I don't use the use state, so I will remove this use state from here. I want to use the dispatch. So for dispatch, I need to add the use dispatch and need to create an object of the dispatch. Const dispatch, sorry, dispatch equals to use dispatch. This is a method. I have created a object of the dispatch. Now I want to use the dispatch to perform our activity, to pass the action and type to the reducer. So remember, we have created two things here in action. That is the increment and decrement. Okay. So I need to import these things in my this file so that I can use that in my uh, dispatch method. So import, I'm using the inc number and dec number. So here I'm going to, instead of the this one, the click event, I was used my function which I have created here. Instead of that, I need to use the dispatch method. So that is a dispatch method I have created here, and I need to pass the inc number, whatever the my action type, then this. Right there, I need to again pass the dispatch decrement number.
No, bottom should be increment and above should be decrement number.
So,
As
pardon?
uh, first,
Sorry,
okay, yeah,
yeah,
change it,
decrement
yeah.
number. Sorry, and this is a increment number. Okay, so now everything is ready. Let's see what's going on. This is showing an error. The two things are still pending. The first one, we have created the store, we have created the reducer, we have created the action, but we have not worked with the provider. So who will provide these things? So for that we need to go in the inside of the index.js, and we need to add a import that is called the provider from React Redux. Now, where you need to provide that? You need to provide the provider inside of this, like a context API. So we need to cover these things inside of the provider. Provider, and this is closed, cut, and we are wrapping this one with this provider. Now, one more thing is still pending. That is the store. I have created the store, but what is the use of that store? How we can use that store? It is not directly use that store like a JS file. So for that we need to import the store also. So import store. Sorry, one second. My name of file is store from, that is a, my file is store, and here I need to pass the provider store equals to my store. We are passing the store, but we are not. Uh, if you want to basically show that what are the store is doing, then you can write here that like that store dot subscribe. Okay, I think it is subscribe, subscribe, and this is a method that is showing the console dot log, and here store dot, that is a get state. Here you can see that. Okay, so we need to subscribe that to get states. We are exporting directly this one. Okay, so there are the two things. If you are going to export like that, default store, okay, then it, you can see it will work. But when you are going to use this type of export, then it will not work. Why? because in this case the calling thing is a different one, because you are not doing the export by default all of your component or all of the file, but here you are going to piece of things want to export them. So for that you need to use that bracket. Now it will work. That's was the issue. Okay.
Okay. So,
Now if you are going to click on the plus button, then it will be increase and this will be decrease. So all of these things are working with the Redux. So Redux, I'm going to, whenever you're going to click on the, one second, go to the main, this one. Whenever you're going to click on the dispatch and the click button, the dispatch method will call. A dispatch method will execute this method, this function, that is a decrease number which are imported from here, and that is a decrease number. So decrease number is containing the decrement type. It is returning the type only. Okay, and once it is doing this, then it will goes to the main reducer. In main reducer, what are the reducer is the change number, and why it is changing number, because the
your voice is not audible.
increment. If it is increment, whatever the value is in the state, it is adding of one and return the updated value to my state. So it is the change. And if you can see
Can you
here,
share your screen, sir? Share your screen.
I have shared my screen. I
Let's
think, yeah, it is already shared. Okay, I'm seeing save.
okay.
So before that, you have not seen anything.
Yeah, I've not seen. Yeah.
Oh, I'm repeating. Okay. So first of all, I'm repeating about the error. What was the error? Okay. So error was is that there was not a bracket, and here you can see that the error is present. This is the error, but we have seen before break. So if in the store I have exported that, but if I'm doing this one, instead of this I am doing this one, export default store. Okay, so now if I'm going to save that, you can see that error have removed. Whenever I'm going to use the export here, but it is not working, it is showing me an error. Why? Because this time I am going to export only this piece of line or piece of function instead of the all of the component. In this case, I need to use only that piece of export by using the bracket.
Okay.
So you can see error has been removed. Okay. So that was the error first. And now if you see that we are going to click on the plus button, it is going to increase and it is going to decrease. How it is working? It is working due to this thing. First, I'm going to the my JSX file. Here I have a click button that is a dispatch method.
Mm.
That what is going to dispatch method? Dispatch method will contains the your type basically. So from where I'm getting the type, we are getting the type from this method. We don't need to do create another JS file. We can do in a single file also, but I have shown you the both way.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are just passing the dispatch and get the method type.
Decrement type. Okay.
Okay, so if you are passing the decrease, then you can get the type as a decrement, otherwise increment.
Okay.
Okay, so here again I'm going to this one. Here I got the method of this one on the button click. Now what is the dispatch will use? Dispatch will use your reducer. Okay, so your reducer is a up down reducer. How
Okay.
we can define that this is will execute because of we have already defined that our selector is a change number.
Okay.
We
Understood.
need a state for the chain number, and here we are going to this one. This contains the two parameters, that is the state and action. The state initial value is a zero.
Mm,
Okay, so and type, whatever the type is dispatch is providing to you.
correct.
Now here is a type, and it is increment. Then it will goes to the put take the state value, increase
Increments
the
or
value,
decreases. Okay.
and return them to your here
State.
selector
State. Okay.
to the state. Now your state is going to update them. How we are getting the data here? Because of that we have implemented here the concept. The we
Log.
are providing store here, and store contains all of the information about your states.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
So these are the things by which we can implement the
Suppose
Redux.
suppose if we have like reducer, we were using multiple reducers. Like for example,
Mhm,
change number. We have another
mhm,
like multiply number. Just say
mhm. Yeah,
say.
we are doing the another things also
Okay. Okay.
for that. Okay, in the next steps we are going in some advance. Okay, so these are the basic first. Now I am going to make another reducer which contains the data. Okay, so my requirement is that what I will do in my requirement, that is my requirement is that I need to uh, enter I have a form. In this form I have a text box, that is the employee name. Okay, whenever I'm going to enter the name of the this text box, then I want to save that value in my
Voice again stopped.
hello, hello.
Yeah, voice stopped when you are saying that when you input the
Yeah,
employee name, you
I'm
want to
I'm,
say
I'm repeating. I'm
okay,
repeating. Okay,
okay,
actually there is some issue with the
connection. Okay,
Zoom. Basically, it is not getting my voice, and I got a pop up from Zoom.
sure. Also need to share your screen, sir. Yes.
Yeah, again I got a pop up again. I'm
Okay.
going to share my screen again.
Okay.
So, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, it's visible. Yes.
Good. Okay, so the requirement is that I need to create a single HTML file with the field, the employee name, and the text box. Okay. Yeah. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever. Okay. Fine. So I need to. I want to display on the page.
Mm.
There's a name, the employee
Mm.
name, and the text box, and a button. On the button click event, I want to the save that text box value inside of our state.
Okay.
So how you can do that? So let's see. So for this, I'm going to create uh, another the things React Reducer. Okay, so here I'm going to create another folder. Wrong side. React Reducer with data. Okay, and this time I'm going to create a folder that is reducer. In this reducer, I need to create two things. The first is the root reducer. So for root reducer, I'm going to create a file main reducer.js. Okay, and now I am going to create uh, another file which contains my reducers. So I'm going to create a reducer. Inside this reducer, I'm going to create a reducer set.js. Okay, my data set of the. Now I'm going to create a HTML file, another HTML file that is Redux data main page. Okay. Now I need to implement the first the HTML file for that. That is simple means there is a component. So there's a const Redux. So before that, okay, we can do that. After that, we will discuss on it. The Redux data main page equals to this one, this and and this is a return div main page, and here export default Redux main page. Now I'm going to make a first page of this okay, and I'm going to remove these things right now. Fine. Okay, so let's see what is the output of that. Saved or not? Not saved. Okay, so it is this one. No. go to this one, and I'm going to create a some logic for that. Okay, so here I need to create a div first. That is a div. This is a enter employee name, and here I need to write a input text and closed. Another div to create a button. So you have created a button, and either the save data. Okay. Now the thing is that if you are using the simple the states, then you can use that. But here, the first I need to preserve the data in my local state, and after that, I can pass the consolidated data to the main store. So how we can do that? So for that, first I need to create a state that is a emp data, or we can say that emp name, and set emp name equals to use state. Use state. Okay, default value would be a blank, or you can set as an undefined or none. Okay. Now I need to again the change of that. Okay, and for that, first I need to create a handler, that is again the on change event by which we can update the value of our text value handler. This is my function name. I'm going to create a function const. This is same as the previous one we have already learned. Set emp name and we can set it directly this one, because we are not going to use
E
them.
dot target dot value.
This value e dot target dot value. Okay, and here it is. Now my updated value is available in this state. Now I need to do the some things about that. First, I need to create our action also, and reduce, and in the inside the reducer, basically we need to create our main reducer as well as the this thing. So my main page is available right now JSX. Now I need to go with my reducers. So main reducer, I need to create my reducer like a previous one. So now here I have an import. First the combine reducer, and here I need to const, and that is a root reducer equals to combined reducer, and here I need to pass the reducers. So now this is the part of that, and why not to the export default root. So we are going to use that. Now reducer set. In the reducer set, we need to create our reducers. Okay, so I'm going to export const. I am going to create a object of the reducer of the employees. Okay, so employee obj reducer. This is my name of that, and that is containing the two things: state and action. ACTE action. Okay, okay, and now this is this one. Now I need to pass the state, the initial state value. One thing is missing. This one. Okay, I need to pass the value. That is the initial state value. Before that, we have passed the initial value to 0. But this time, I need to pass the object instead of the single value, because we have the multiple the properties of the employee name, first name, age, and like that. Okay, so I'm going to create a const the initial state obj equals to that is emp data set. That would be an array, and here I am passing the emp id. Emp id initial id of this is 0. Emp name blank. Emp age, that is 0. And now I'm going to pass this object as an initial object of this state. Again, we need to work with the switch to perform the action dot type, and here we are going to case, that is add, and here I can use the states for this. So if you are using the uh, remember, if we are using the add as an object or the records in the state, then we need to use the spread operator, because we will, if we are not using the spread operator, then we will lost our previous values. So that's why we are using the return, and using that is a dot dot as a state, and that is a what is the my object name, that is a emp data set. Inside of the my state, that is a object name, and now I need to pass the value of the state. uh, and what is that? That is a state. And what state is that? State dot emp data set. Okay, and what data you want to upload that? We need to upload the action dot payload. What is the payload? I will tell you. Okay, so this is a one case. Now another case, that is delete. Return. Again, it is a very simple case to delete that. So I will write the logic of delete after that, but I'm just console that it is passing with the delete or not. And it would be the, sorry, not here, it would be above the return. But to the above the return, and I'm going to return the state as it is in this case. And by default, whenever the default anything else is coming here, then I need to use default, and that would be the case is return as it is state. So my reducer is ready right now, and I need to import that reducer in my which class is a main reducer.
Reducer set. Okay.
Okay, in a main reducer we need to import that. So first I'm going to import that. Import, that is employee reducer. Why I need to use these curly brackets? Because we have created a export directly for this function. If I am going to use the export default, then we don't need to use the brackets.
Okay.
From which file? That is the my dot slash, that is reducer set. Now I need to pass the emp reducer. So there are the two ways to these to do these things. The first, by default, if you have a single one, then you can pass that like that. If you have a more than one reducers, then you need to import first in your file. After that, you can provide the name of the another reducers, another reducer one comma reducer 2. So these are the name of my reducer. Then you can pass that, or you can pass that in another way, that is emp reducer colon this one reducer 1, like that, reducer 1. Suppose you have a name of multiple of the reducer, so you can pass the reducer names like that. I think you are asking some like that of questions, right?
Okay.
So you can pass that. But if you have a single one, then you can pass either this one or either this one, whatever you want. Okay, so now I have passed the reducers, or you can use that same name. There is no issue with that. You can use the same name for that. There is no issue with that. So I'm not using the obj. I am using the employee reducer. So this one is okay. Now reducer is ready, and now I want to implement the reducer. So I don't need to use inside of the store, because it is using my root reducer. But in this case, I need to change my path, because this time my main root reducer is in this one.
Okay.
If I will use this one, then there is no issue. I need to use this one, and I need to pass the reducer name inside of it. Okay, I will do that after this session with the same reducer. Right now, I'm going to change my reducer path. So here I have a reducer in my React reducer with the data and reducer. This time my reducer is inside of it. That is a root reducer. Check the spelling is the correct or not. Yeah, it is correct. Fine. So now reducer is ready, store is ready, but we have removed one thing from here. We have a store, we have a provider, you have
Mm.
Redux main page, but instead of this, uh, yeah, this is a, okay, but we have missed the provider here. So provider and store equals to store and close that. Now everything is well settled. So come to the our main the main page Redux student data. Okay. So here I have created the things, and but I need to use uh, the things to pass them data. I am using use selector, and in use selector you need to pass the selector if you want. Okay, and but I want to use the dispatch first. So I will import the dispatch.
Use dispatch.
Use dispatch, and I'm going to create a method of dispatch. Const dispatch is equals to use dispatch. Fine. Now I want to pass the things to the my dispatch method, but from where I can pass the dispatch method, because I want to pass that some data also. So thing is that first I need to create a click event, because I need to perform the activity on the click event. So on click, I will say data is my function. On click, this function will execute. Const is equals to this, and this. Okay. Now I'm going to make a set of data, the same as we have set inside of the reducer. Okay, so I'm going to const data set equals to, and here I'm pasting that. Now I have an employee name here. That is mine using the EMP name. The EMP name value is saved inside of the employee name. 1 second. Give me time. Okay, so this is the name which is saved inside of the employee name, and now I want to dispatch that. So here the set is ready. More dispatch method is also have something here. I need to again one second. Okay, sorry, someone was come on my door. Okay, so now in the dispatch, I have the dispatch have one thing that is a type. So I'm going to pass the type directly here. That is add. Now I want to pass data, the data set with the dispatch for this add action. So that is called the payload. And in payload, I'm passing the data set. That's why I was use in inside of this the payload. So this action is containing the two things, that is a type and the payload. In the payload, it is getting the data. What data they want to pass is to the state. So this is a payload. Payload is a data set and the add. Now, whenever the save data is going to execute, then dispatch method will also execute. In this case, we will are going to pass the add method. In add method, is it is going to reducer and it will be the execute over the things whatever written here. Now in the main reducer, if I am going to the main reducer here, we have the things, the two things. That mean is a employee reducer, that is employee reducer is the the reducer, whatever we have written here, it is calling here and it is binding inside of our reducer. So reducer work is already done. We have done our reducers also. So reducer part is also done here because everything is done here. Now in the HTML part, you can see that everything we have done here in the HTML part, and we have used the states for that to preserve the data on the page. We have used the dispatch method to do that, and now this is things, and one thing is pending, that is a selector. So now announced that is an EMP state, and that is a use selector. In use selector, you need to show that state is state dot emp reducer. So we have the name of the reducer changed here. I think employee reducer. Okay, so we need to use that as an employee reducer dot emp data set. Now everything is ready. Go to my index.js. We have already done with that. Okay, let's move to this one. What is solved? Module error store. Okay, error store main reducer. And this time you are getting the this thing. So now um, I'm going to save 1 second. Doing one more thing. Here, reducer name. Okay. So here, suppose I'm going to save the data. That is the so both. Then you can save data. It will be saved inside of your state. So how you can check that it is stored in the state or not? So for that, we are going to that a dev tool. The this is a line of code basically. I need to write this code with my store, like comma, and put them just and save this. Save this. Okay, and now you need to go like here you can see I have already added the tool. If you are seeing that this is a URL, I'm going to paste in your chat window also so that you can easily find out uh, this one. Okay, and if you are seeing this, I'm going to that in a form. I have already added that, so that's why it is showing me uh, to disable this activity to add to Chrome. Okay, so now I have already added it, and it is showing me the Redux tool. I'm showing the Here you can see that state have the three things: employee ID, employee name, and employee age. Okay, this is a chart. This is a tree. What is the value of inside of it? That is
Initial
this
state.
one,
Initial state.
initial state of that. If you are seeing, actually it is going to the back of that. Um, I'm going to say both and save data. Now you can see the things here. You can see the action, state, and trace. So here we have the payload. Okay, payload is type is now we are getting the payload, and payload have the counter of the children of three
Mm.
because it has changed the three elements of it, and now you can see the employee ID is still zero, but employee name is Subodh, and age is also zero because I am not passed the employee ID and employee age as a zero, but the employee name is coming from this text box. If you are seeing the chart, then you can see that we have the one record for that.
Okay.
Now I have added a Kumar also. Now it is a save data, and you can see again the chart. It is going to payload, make a difference with that, and here again that is a Subodh Kumar, and you can see that the Kumar is also available inside of the payload. Now come to the state. You can see the state has the payload in the chart. You have the state and the payload. In the payload, it is right now empty because it has already done the work, and it is the row. So it is done the work that is showing the undefined. So like that, there is a the ways you can say the test and the trace. So this is the tool for that, and you can see what the happening with your components or whatever you are the working on it, right? So
Okay.
according to this, you can see the charts, and this is the way to work with the basically these things. Okay, if you are not hiding this one, then you cannot see the things in your Redux to dev tools.
Okay.
Okay, I think it is done from my side right now. So, do you have any question query?
No, nothing else.
Okay, so tomorrow I am not able to take the class.
Okay.
Okay, so we will meet on the 29th.
Okay, sure.
Okay, and I think now we have only two or three classes are remaining, and everything is completed. I will send the topics what we have covered.
Okay.
Yeah, so but
Okay.
so the topic list which have the index and material I've asked
Yes,
earlier also.
yes. I will send to you. Okay,
Yeah, just
and
note.
I will also send the assignment three to you. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining.